It is Anubis.
I cannot get over how good this build looks. Now it might sound like I'm patting myself on the back, and you'd be right, because you might remember in some of my other Zone of the Ender recreations, I believe it was the Vic Viper video, I said that remaking Anubis in Armored Core 6 was pretty much impossible. But ever since that video, I've been thinking about how can I do this. There's gotta be a way to recreate my favorite Orbital Frame in Zone of the Enders. And here we are, in all of its glory, the main villain of Zone of the Enders. And speaking of which, post in the comments, who is your favorite villain in a mecha series? Could be Armored Core, Zone of the Enders, whatever. Now, when it comes to Anubis, it's interesting because I love the mech, but I could not stand the pilot. Noman was so unhinged and just crazy that I thought to myself, man, out of all the characters that could have wound up with this amazing machine, it had to be the nut job, but it did make for a sweet confrontation with Jehuti by the end of the game. And now I'm sad we still don't have Zone of the Enders 3, but maybe one day. Also, I cannot get over my opponent thinking the Basha core is still at its peak where I could miss all of my attacks trying to hit it, but not anymore. I'd be surprised if they picked it out of an aesthetic choice because it really does not look good on these more slender builds. Well, I was going to finish in style, but the missiles had other plans. GG, that was an interesting matchup, not one that I expected in this late of the game. A missile kite with a melee weapon. I'm pretty sure I fought this same build before too. Now, I really wanted to make a build video about Anubis way sooner, but two things got in the way. One was getting this thing just right for me to be happy with it, which took up most of my time, especially the decal work. And secondly, after the Nephthys build video, it didn't do nearly as well as the Vic Viper one, so I was a little bit discouraged, thinking that maybe interest just wasn't there in the series, or maybe that particular character. But regardless of that, I'm making a video about Anubis since it's my favorite, and I hope my viewers out there can also appreciate it, because some of these builds really do take a lot of time, at least if you want to do it right. My whole mindset is if I'm going to recreate something, it's got to be functionally close and look as close as possible to be a true successor to the original. Speaking of which, I almost settled on the coral missiles instead of these because I wanted something that looked visually close to the homing attacks of Anubis, but they didn't look right aesthetically compared to the suit missiles, of course. These look straight up like wings. But then I found a loophole because in the Zone of the Enders anime, there was a brief appearance where Anubis was fighting and he did launch your standard missile, so I'll take it because, I mean, he didn't use it in the games, but he used it in the show, so that's my reason for also settling on these particular missiles compared to the coral ones, at least. Those would be my only two choices if I was gonna be even considering recreating this. Oh, did the explosion catch them? That looked pretty cool, not gonna lie. Very cinematic by the end of it, but that's Anubis for you. A lightweight dual Etsujin build. I'm seeing a lot of those today. Now the question is, do I want to try to play it safe with the missiles, or go in close for the flashier approach? Let me mix it up a bit. Ooh, they ascended right above that. Yeah, they're going to be backpedaling, so going to be a lot more difficult going in for the CQC option. Well, this is going to be that kind of a matchup, I see. Okay, I need to Oh, my missiles aren't hitting either. They're so quick that it's completely nullifying my attacks. Please hit. Oh, that's big. I needed that. Unfortunately, I couldn't go in for a follow-up because I depleted all of my energy. I'm not giving up. Ah, unfortunate. Oh, I cannot get over how annoying these backpedaling builds are. The saving graces, all things considered, I did do a lot of damage to them. So if I can land with my ranged attacks this time, I can probably... Wow, why was I stuck on the bridge like that? But I can probably get in close and ensure I can melee punish them. Oh, they're backpedaling like crazy. They might be using the Grid Walker booster, given how high up they are too. Okay, they were cornered. That is huge. If only the kick registered as well. Oh, it's so close. I'm gonna wait a bit. Oh, wow, that is unfortunate, but they did not take advantage of that. Nice! I wasn't sure if I was within range, but I said, why not? Either it's going to hit, or they're going to bombard me with the Atsujins coupled with their missiles to stagger me immediately. Thankfully, that wasn't the outcome. Alright, I'm still in it to win it. Gonna delay my second salvo of missiles to try to force them to dodge, but... Oh, nice. Again out of reach, though. I'm convinced they're using the Grid Walker booster. I don't know anything else that can allow a build like this to be so airborne. Nice. Landing all of my charged attacks this time. That made a huge difference. I should have melee canceled more, but I needed all the energy in reserve for the punishes. Hold up, someone made an RLF MT recreation? That is honestly pretty cool, but this is the perfect example of, what's the saying? Coughing baby versus the hydrogen bomb? Good lord. They're even moving just like an MT. Now that is dedication right there. I gotta hand it to you. I don't know what I can do to nerf myself, though. I feel like no matter what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be at a huge advantage. This is hilarious, but hey, I respect it. This is pretty cool. You don't see many quote-unquote MT pilots out there. It is funny how some people actually requested for there to be an option for players to pilot an MT. It's pretty cool in practice, but I wonder how it would be in execution. I honestly don't know what to do to not make this so one-sided. Wow, they're definitely committed to the roleplay. Let them get a few hits, and you know what? I'll purge the wings. Anubis did this technically in the game, so it's in character. It's a good thing I can't teleport like the real Anubis, because if I could, this would definitely be even more one-sided. I dig it. The paint job, the weapon loadout, and the pure dedication to the play style. Ranked PvP needs more of this. Simple and good fun. I was paying my respects, not teabagging. Always love to see a Kurosawa build. I'm surprised I don't see more given the buffs this thing had. Granted, it does require a particular playstyle and build devoted to it, but still, I mean, it's the Kurosawa. It has history just as much as the Moonlight, especially in the Armored Core series. Ooh, the fully charged beam like that? Oh, okay, it's the Coral Oscillator. I was wondering what melee weapon you had. Oh, an assault armor. Okay, I see what your game plan is. I did not charge the laser shoddy in time. That could have definitely secured the win. If I lose, that'll probably be the reason why. Both of us are playing it safe. Oh, that was a sweet clash right there. That could have been really anybody's round. Alright, I like this. This is the kind of matchup I love about PvP. You don't see it too often, but all the more reason to relish it. What? Okay, that was very questionable, but I'll give it to you, I guess. That beam was way off target, and it still hit me. I mean, even my dog sensed that afterwards. Alright, we're going into round 3. Never underestimate the Kurosawa, especially if it decides to pull off an LRB. Nice, take that, hold this. Ooh, okay, trading a kick for a Pulse Blade Slash. Okay, I was trying to time that right. I knew they had the assault armor ready, but it didn't matter. That was a fun game, minus the questionable Kurosawa shot. But still, fun matchup. Well, this is certainly a unique build compared to some of the rest today. I can't remember the last time I've seen those laser cannons. And it's also nice to see a fellow Curtis enthusiast. Very good linear rifle, especially as a standalone weapon. Are you AFK? Nope, you're on the move. Oh, they tagged me with the lance. And I almost got obliterated. Nice. Ooh, okay, they are the real deal. They're carefully positioning themselves to hit me with a counterattack. That is how you gotta play with that melee weapon. You can't go in blind and hope that you're gonna hit with it. Ooh, I gotta keep my distance here for a second. Oh, I was afraid of that. Thankfully. Oh no, they still hit me though. Unless, come on. Oh wow, that was unbelievably close. You can tell this guy practices with those weapons. Takes a very particular play style to make it work. Especially the laser lance. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You gotta be very picky about when you're choosing your battles with it. They're rushing in. I gotta tag him, and I did. For a kick as the punish. That's good. Great start. Very nervous about those laser cannons hitting me, though. Not this time! Nice. A much smoother experience. But nonetheless, a very scary build. Good job on it. You love to see builds like this. When it comes to part choices, I had to go with the Alba head. In addition to Gundam features, it does have wolf-like or even jackal features, which was perfect. Reverse joint legs, because that is what Anubis originally had. The suit missiles to recreate those wings. Coral oscillator for those red charged beam attacks of doom. And I went with the laser shoddy because it does look like a spearhead, because if we can't have a spear in this game, at least I'll go with the next best thing. And I still can't believe I was able to make Anubis happen in Armored Core 6. I'm very happy with it. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Till next time, take care.